Hi all, welcome back to Invesfinc. In today's video, we are breaking down exactly the levels you need to know for Nifty, Sensex, Banknifty and FINNIFTY to stay ahead of the game on June 3rd for tomorrow's trading session. Plus, make sure you watch the video until the very end as we are going to share our exclusive take on the stocks that were buzzing on Monday and how the approach should be taken for them in tomorrow's trading session. So before we jump into the details, please go through the disclaimer. Now let's begin the analysis on major indices. First up, Nifty 50. So in today's trading session, we saw Nifty opened gap down, and from that gap down, within just 30 minutes of time, we touched the lows of 24,526 levels, and immediately from there, we saw significant rally coming in. So there was a point where we had closed above the previous day's day's close to roughly around the high was 24,754 levels. So overall, there was a good recovery that was seen throughout the day, and we just closed 34 points low, 0.17% down. So if you look at the candle, we could see a clear bullish hammer kind of pattern that has created. Now the take would be, if we start trading above 24,754 levels, which is the high that it had made today. So tomorrow, if the open is flat or maybe high, then from there the expectation would be that it should continue to rise further. If we see that is happening, then for the overall tomorrow's trading session, we can expect the day to be positive. So our approach should be simple. Once we immediately cross above the highs of 24,754 levels, we should just be on the long positions and stay put until we see 24,750 levels being taken down. In case if there is any major event, then for us the immediate support is going to be around the lows, that is 24,500 odd. So this is the zone where we had multiple times tested, and you could see there have been a lot of bullishness that was seen. So this candle was positive with a lot of good strength. This candle, there was recovery, and then from there to subsequent candles we saw a lot of positivity. And then in fact today's trading session, from the lows there was a sharp recovery that we had seen towards the end of the day, and we believe that it is going to be a bullish and positive momentum that is going to continue from here onwards. Now let's see from the perspective of open interest. So as you could very evidently see, the at the money strike, that is 24,700 or 750 levels, there have been a lot of strength. So both there is more strength from the perspective of put writers giving a lot of support, and if you could see, in majority of these strikes we see roughly around 40 to 50% of open interest that got built up. So this suggests that this strong positive momentum is expected to continue hereafter in the upcoming days too. So on the long side, if you see at the higher strikes, that is 24,800, there has been unwinding from the call writers. Again here as well we could see slight unwinding, here very minute unwinding. On the other hand, the put writers also have unwinded their positions on the long side for 24,700 and beyond strikes. So tomorrow, if we open positive and stay put with that positivity, then we could see that there would be a lot of additions on the put writings at the higher strikes too. And if we are able to sustain 24,800 to 850 odd levels, then it will open up for us to move towards 25,000 odd levels as the first resistance, and then beyond we could see a lot of positivity coming in. Not sure if that can be achieved just within this expiry, but based on today's trading session, this seems to be a kind of continuation of positive trajectory from here on. Overall, the PCR stands at 0.7, which is slightly bullish, and at the money is 0.85, which is quite strong. Next, it is Sensex. So Sensex as well opened slightly gap down, and then from there we had seen swing lows of roughly around 80,654 levels, and then from there within just 30 minutes we saw a lot of buying interest that was seen from the lower levels, and ultimately we even crossed 81,000, or was about to touch 81,500 levels, from where we had actually seen that positive strength or momentum coming in. So now, as long as tomorrow's opening is going to be flat or maybe little bit high, we should ultimately cross 81,500 odd levels. Once we cross and sustain that particular level, then from there we would see good strength and positivity coming in on Sensex. And if we cross these levels around 81,700, 800, then we would open up for crossing 82,500 odd levels, which was the swing high at this level. And we have not been able to cross or touch those levels from almost 15 trading sessions till now. So maybe a day's trading session, because there is Sensex expiry to tomorrow, so we anticipate to see a lot of volatility, and this volatility majorly would be on a positive note, since there was only a fall of 0.09% or 77 points. We are expecting that tomorrow's trading session is more going to be strong and positive for Sensex, and we could move towards 82,000 odd levels too. Let's see from the perspective of open interest. On the open interest, however, it seems to be tepid. We see some strength, towards 81,000 odd from the put writers, but there is no significant strength until 81,500 odd levels here. So there has been, some unwinding that we could see on the put writer side, and slight additions on the call writing. So overall, at all the higher strikes, we could see significant call writings that have been done, which would act as a lot of resistance immediately at 81,500 levels, and then subsequently at 82,000 levels too. Now, as long as we significantly do not move or sustain beyond 81,500, then for tomorrow's expiry, approaching towards 82,000 would be difficult. But still, we see some additions that have been done until 82,000 by the put writers. So tomorrow's session is expected to be little gap up to flat, and that flat opening should sustain. If that happens, then we would see that buying momentum further to come, and then we will close at least above 81,500 odd levels, if not 82,000. PCR is 0.7, which is again strong, and at the money PCR is also 0.77, which suggests slight bullishness. Banking stocks, however, especially the PSU banking stocks, were quite positive, and it is very clear indication there is a like of V-shape recovery that we are seeing on Banknifty, and we are headed towards crossing this 52-week high of 55,950 odd levels. So just in tomorrow's trading session, we could see that we can cross the all-time highs easily. Now it is a kind of bullish engulfing pattern on Banknifty. This suggests that tomorrow's opening is expected to be positive, and we would continue with the longs for tomorrow's trading session too. There is high expectation that in the month of June expiry, we would approach towards 56,800 to 57,500 odd levels on Banknifty, and those positivity will only sustain and continue once we start trading above 56,000 odd levels. So this would be the first resistance for us on Banknifty. Now we will move and check what the open interest suggests. So there is a stiff resistance at 56,000 odd levels on Banknifty. However, once we cross 56,000 levels, we do not see any significant open interest built up until 58,200 or beyond levels. So we have to cross 56,000 levels on a decisive note and sustain towards those levels. So as long as the put writers support and more additions happen towards beyond 56,000 levels at 56,500, 57,000 odd levels from the put writers, that would help staying put at those levels and then start for the next up move or further longs on bank nifty. So overall, banking stocks have been quite positive, and the another leg of up move in the major indices in Nifty and Sensex could come up primarily from banking stocks. So there is good strength that is seen in all the banks. PCR also suggests strength, and it is one which is quite positive, and at the money PCR is 0.95, which is again strong. Lastly, on FINNIFTY. So FINNIFTY, however, did not perform in tandem with Banknifty, though Banknifty was in green. However, FINNIFTY closed 50 points down by closing 0.19%, down compared to previous day overall. So there was a point that we had touched towards 26,500 odd levels, which has been for a very long time the kind of consolidation phase. So as long as we do not cross 26,500 levels on a decisive note and trade above those levels, sustaining for almost like 2 to 3 trading sessions, only then we could get a confirmation that the longs or long bets can be taken on FINNIFTY. So the previous highs are around 26,800 to 850 odd levels. So we have to, the bullishness will start only when we cross those levels on a decisive note. So as long as we trade above the yesterday's high, that is 26,500 levels, there is no negativity that can be seen, and the support definitely rests at today's low, that is 26,220 odd levels. So overall, we should go long only about 26,800 on FINNIFTY. Now, from the perspective of open interest, so similar like bank nifty, we do not see any significant open interest, strength from the call writers until 27,500 odd levels, and there is quite good scope for FINNIFTY to significantly cross beyond 26,800 odd levels and then move towards 27,500 for the June month expiry. So here as well we could see a lot of unwinding that had happened at 27,500 odd levels. So both on bank nifty as well as on FINNIFTY, we expect that there is going to be a breakout and the continuation of longs beyond that breakout will continue. So expect at least 3 to 5% of move that can come up in the FINNIFTY as well as bank nifty indices in the coming days, or at least in the June month expiry. So overall there is lot of positivity and bullishness beyond 26,500 odd levels on FINNIFTY. So PCR stands at 0.8, which is strong and positive. At the money PCR is also 0.88 because of these additions both on call as well as put on at 26,500 strike. Now next segment for us to discuss is the FII, DII and retail participation. So overall FIIs have been continuing to add the short positions in the index futures, and they have been holding 89,000 odd contracts short. On call options, they are long by 2.04 lakh contracts, and they have significantly added the longs. And on put options also there is an addition that we are seeing with 2.62 lakh overall all contracts. So net still FIIs are short by 58,000 contracts on index options. Now let's see what the proprietors are doing. So proprietors have also added mild shorts of 170 odd contracts and continuing with 13,000 short positions on index futures. On call options, aggressively they have added longs to the tune of 1.5 lakhs, which overall stands at 2.56 lakh contracts on call options. And on put options to hedge, they have again went long with 1.22 lakh contracts. So net proprietary traders are long with 1.34 lakh contracts, and this is significantly coming because of today's position alone. So from the lower levels, seems like the proprietary traders have went bullish. Now client or retailers, they have been holding long positions on index futures to the tune of 62,000 odd contracts. On call options, they have aggressively shorted, and 2.23 lakh contracts have been shorted today. In fact, see, the overall position is 4.6 lakh. They have shorted on call options, and on put options to hedge, they have shorted 3.95 lakh contracts. So overall, on index options, retailers have been short to the tune of 65,000 odd contracts. So FIIs as well as retailers are short, and that shorts have been absorbed by proprietary traders alone with 1.34 lakh contracts. Now on the cash market, FIIs have sold off the positions to the tune of 2,589 crores in equities, and DIIs however have absorbed almost of those amount, and on top of that they have heavily invested to the tune of 5,314 odd contracts. So roughly double of the amount has been absorbed and then bought by the DIIs over what the FIIs have taken or actioned. Now comes the very important segment, the trending stocks. So today's trending stock on the long side is CDSL, Central Depository Services Limited. Now, as you could see, there have been almost a jump of 10.02% on CDSL. So the stock closed roughly around at 1,682 or 683 odd levels by jumping 153 points. So this significant rally was majorly fueled by combination of strong buying momentum, positive sectoral sentiment, as well as anticipation of future growth, despite the fact that the company posted much weaker than expected Q4 results, something in the last month. So the stock witnessed exceptionally high volumes in today's trade, and by the end of the afternoon, as the market closed, when we checked, the overall trade or traded quantity was around 2 crore shares. So as you could see, a significant volume we could see compared to the previous trading sessions. Such kind of volume was only seen in the month of December 2024. So this suggests a lot of strength in the stock, and from here on we could further move up and continue this particular rally. So the looks like the institutional traders have been actively participated in today's rally, and this rally marks kind of highest single day gain in almost nearly a year for CDSL. So if you see from the lows of March month or towards the end of March, from where we significantly took a support from this level of 1000 to 1682 levels what we had closed today, there is a significant jump of around 59 to 60% odd just in 2 months time, or maybe 2.5 months time. That's it. So a significant rally today, and it has crossed the previous resistance levels too. So if you see today, the CDSL stock opened mildly flat or just slight gap up, we could say, and from there we saw sharp run up at the higher levels. There have been no or very rare negative candles on the 5-minute chart that you could see, and then this rally fueled as long as we could see sharp resistances in the intraday what we had seen at these levels around 1620 odd levels. We could see significant buying momentum was seen, and then we sharply closed roughly around 18 to 20 points up at the 5 minutes candle, and then continued rallying further and ultimately closed towards the day's high around 10% jump. So now, whenever the close would be at the higher levels, that is, there is very maybe 15 odd rupees difference between the high as well as the close. So whenever the high is equivalent to the close, that suggests a lot of positivity in the stock, and this positivity would continue in the upcoming sessions too. So be ready for this continuation to further move up until the previous resistance of 1820 odd levels. So until then, the rally would continue with maybe sharp, low downfalls and a higher high, lower low kind of, higher low kind of scenarios. So you would see from here on, like the way how we can see higher highs and then higher lows, higher highs here, higher lows. This low is lower from the previous low. Again, this low here is lower from the previous low. So this would continue as a higher high and higher low kind of pattern until 1820 odd levels. Now next trending stock is Inox Wind, but this is on a downward momentum. So Inox Wind, in fact, significantly shown a kind of drop of roughly around 5% by falling 9.63 rupees. So the intraday low today was around 184.25 levels, and the close is also similar to those levels. So whenever you see that the close and the high are at the same levels, then that would act as a negative for the stock. And in fact, in this stock, it was exactly opposite the bullish stock CDSL. So we opened gap up, and then from there, this gap up, could not sustain, and we significantly seen a sharp fall. And throughout the end of the day, this sharp fall continued, and then we closed at around 184.25 odd levels. Now this decline typically could have occurred, despite of the fact that the company reported a seemingly spectacular fourfold kind of jump in the Q4 FI25 net profit. So maybe people would have anticipated in the estimation of good results. So from here we saw a jump of roughly around 14 odd percent, and there was like one way rally until this stage. And when yesterday, meaning to say on Friday, the results were announced, this had impacted in today's trading session on Monday, and we saw a sharp sell off that came in, despite the results were likely good or comparatively good when we compare to the previous financial years. So the stock had actually opened high, and it fooled somewhere the investors about that positivity, and many people would have gone long. But from there on, we suddenly saw sharp rallies, and then this took the entire sell off on a severe selling pressure, and then the day totally progressed towards the lows, and ultimately we closed 5% down. So tomorrow also you can expect this stock to continue to fall down. Maybe some support it would take at this level where it has touched multiple times, and once we cross this particular resistance, now this would act as a support, and from here we anticipate to rebound. But however, be cautious and put a strict stop loss somewhere here in case if you are intending to go long on Inox Wind. So that's it from our end. So if today's analysis brought some value in your trading journey, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your fellow traders too. So for daily pre-market report updates, make sure to subscribe to our channel and tap the bell icon so that you never miss any episode. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Till then, happy trading.